Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you may be on the surface of the earth. Welcome once again to AO4, our channel. Today as you can see, we're going to be looking at port scanning with the tool called Nmap. Nmap is a tool that we can use to scan open or closed ports on a server. So actually this lesson, this video will talk much more than just Nmap. So if you are knowledgeable about the usage of Nmap before now, don't discard this video. Just go through and you might gain one or two things in the video. So port scanning with Nmap. As I said before, we have Nmap is a tool for scanning ports on a server, open or closed, and we have various version or types, let me say, but today we're going to be using the one on Kali Linux and the CLI, command line interface, not the GUI type. So we're going to be using the command line on Kali to run our Nmap. So Nmap, the purpose, as I said, is to scan, to check if a port or if ports are opened or closed, or to check opened ports on a server, either local or remote server. And definitely if there's any hosted server anywhere, there will be one or two ports opened. Because if the server is running a service, that service will definitely be using the ports. So that is why, we have opened ports on our servers. And when we have ports open, those are the avenue or the channel or entrance point into the server. And cyber attacker could use those open ports to gain access into the server. So, and the purpose of this video, or whatever you're going to learn in this video, is basically for educational purpose, nothing malicious at all. Do not try to scan a server that doesn't belong to you. Do not scan a server that is hosted somewhere on the internet running a service that doesn't belong to you, because if you do, you might be tracked. Your IP address might be tracked and picked up, and then don't be surprised if you are contacted or arrested for doing something like that. I've had that experience before, even though I wasn't the attacker, but then I was working in the company, and my former company in Nigeria, and as the IP solution architect there, we had a report from a government agency in charge of cybercrime, EFCC, and that someone was trying to attack a server somewhere outside the country, but the IP address was traced to our company. And as the IP solution architect in the company, I have to go to EFCC office to, represent my company, to explain. Thank God I prepared myself with all available evidences that we actually have equipment in place to track such. If not, I would have been detained, even though I didn't know who did that, just because I was the IP solution architect. So do not attack, do not scan any server that doesn't belong to you. So now let's go on. We shall be looking at, let's quickly look at this diagram. Now, we have a server here hosted somewhere in the cloud, the internet. We have someone here with Nmap running on his or her laptop. And then this guy here is trying to scan the open ports on this server. That's just basically what it is. And then on the server, we have, as you can see down here, we have so many ports, you know, that could be, that applications could use on a server. You know, we have between a total of 65,535 or 36, actually 65,536 possible ports. Just 2 raised to power 16, that's binary 2 raised to power 16, which is 65,536. If you count from 0, you have allowable range of 0 to 65,535 ports. And as you can see here, you know, they are broken down into 0 to 1023, which are the well-known ports. That's the category where your port 21, 22, 53, port 80, or 443 falls into this category of well-known ports. Then we have registered ports from 1024 to 49151. Registered ports, they are registered, whether used or not used, or being used by unknown services, you know, that we are not, maybe you want to run, you have a protocol designed by you, and then you registered a port, you know, for that protocol. So it's going to be taken out of, you know, available ports. Then it will come into the pool of these registered ports. Then the dynamic ports are the ports picked by system randomly. You know, they are not registered, but just, you know, there. If you want to, excuse me, if you're running a service on the system, and then you are not using any registered port for it, you just pick any random port from this pool of 49,152 to 65,535 dynamic ports. So, below here are, you know, some well-known ports. Port 21 for FTP, 22 SSH, 3389 LDP, and so on. 53 for DNS, 23 for Telnet, 5060 for SIP, 443 for HTTPS, and so on and so forth. So basically, this is what we have, you know, when we're talking about ports. And then when you are running your Nmap, you might see 1 or 2 of these ports opened on the server you are scanning. So, as I said before, do not scan a server that doesn't belong to you. It is not good, not ethically good. It's against ethical practice. It's against, if you are, you know, intending to become a cybersecurity expert, one of the rule of ISC is being responsible on the internet and guiding the sanity of the cyberspace. And you don't want to become a threat to the health of cyberspace by running scanning someone's server, a server that doesn't belong to you. So this is very, very important. Do not run a scan against a server that is not yours. All right, now let's go. Now, if I want to run this or scan, what then can I use if I don't want to build a server? If I don't have a server, then what can I use? Now there is a website that is called Bulk Crowd. You know, this website here, this Bulk Crowd, www.bulkcrowd.com. This website is a place where you can pick a server or an application of a company. Actually, those companies are registered on Bulk Crowd. They want people, they want pen testers, they want hackers to try and hack into their network or their server, their system, to bring out any vulnerability and report to them for money, for compensation, for rewards. And it's good, right? So if you are a pen tester or a hacker, instead of you doing it maliciously, why don't you come here and test your skill against a company like Tesla? Let's check. Today we're going to be running against the web server of Tesla, the known Tesla. Yes, Tesla, Elon Musk is registered here, and you can test your skill against their server for rewards. Now you scroll down. When you go to bulkcrowd.com, scroll down to hacker here, and then bug bounty list. If you scroll down, you see the list of different companies, organizations that you can test, or you can pen test, you can try to hack based on conditions. You will read their conditions when you go to their profile. You see Alibaba, you see AliExpress, even Amazon, AWS, AMS Press, American Express, a lot of them, they've registered here. And the essence of this is such that they want people to report any vulnerability on their services before any hacker will get to know and do it maliciously. So when you're able to do it and report to them, then there is a reward for you. So let's go to Tesla. So just come up, go up here and search for the company. Let's say Tesla. All right, this is Tesla. Now, if you click on Tesla, you see Tesla. And now you can see per vulnerability, you can get between $100 to $100,000, depending on the severity of that vulnerability. Isn't that interesting? So now if you go down, you see vulnerabilities rewarded, already rewarded 720 vulnerabilities. Interesting. Average payout is $300. And these are the list of people that are already, being rewarded. Now you scroll down and read the terms and conditions and everything, the rules of engagement, then the scope and reward, non-vehicle vulnerabilities. That's, Tesla automobile, is not included in this scope. You see, in scope, And these are this level of importance, like P4, P3, P2, P1, the payouts, how severe or critical those vulnerabilities are, determines how much you are rewarded. Now, in scope here means you can test against anything you see here. Anything you see, you can test against them. Now you see star.tesla.com, it means subdomain. There are so many subdomains of Tesla that we don't know. You don't know them. So how do you find out those subdomains that you can test against? You can actually test against www.tesla.com. That's their web server, the website, and that's what we're going to do. But then, what if you want to test against another subdomain, of Tesla? Now, there's a way you can find out those subdomain. There's a tool on Kali, or you can install it actually on Kali. It might not be there by default, but you can install it on Kali. If you launch your Kali, it's my Kali, it's called Subfinder. Subfinder. -D, which is the domain. Then we want to find the subdomain of tesla.com. Then -V verbose, just verbose. So you display it on the screen. So subfinder -T -T tesla.com, the domain you want to find the subdomains of this. You can any domains at all. You can use your whatever domain. So if you hit enter, you can see, or as you can see, several subdomains of Tesla. You can see many, right? A lot. So that's Subfinder. It's already warning you here, use with caution. You are responsible for your actions. So don't use any tool you learn here against anything that is not authorized. We are doing this with Tesla because we can see some bulk crowd that, they are registered there, that you can test with them. If you do it against or you use any tools against any website or services that is not authorized, you are responsible for your whatever outcome you get. So please be very careful. Now we can see all of this. You can see all these subdomain of Tesla. So you can pick any of these and run. You can see tesla.com. This is what we're going to use actually. So, but if you're working, you want to work with subdomain, pick any one out of this huge list of subdomains of Tesla, right? Okay, so now, as earlier mentioned, we're going to be running the Nmap against Tesla. Now, let's clear this screen, okay? Now, Nmap -T4, I will explain those flags, -P minus or dash or minus, whatever, -A, tesla.com. All right, so now let's look at it. This Nmap, the command, the tool. -T means you are setting a timing template. That is the time how fast or how slow you want the Nmap, the scanning to run. So, and this T, the options there is between 0 to 5. So higher is faster. If you do T5 is the highest, T4 is high, T0 very slow. So I want to pick 4, T4, not the highest, 5 is the highest, but I'm picking T4. Then -P, which means you're going to be running, if you use -P, you want to specify a particular port that you want to scan. If it's port 80, port 443, port 21, port 53, whatever. But I'm putting a dash again in front of it, which means I want to run against all the 65,535 ports. That's what this dash after the P means. Means I'm not specifying a particular port, but I want it against all, I want it to scan all the 65,535 ports available if they are open on this server. And then -A means I want to detect the OS, the operating system on the running on the server, the version, I'd also want to run trace routes to the server after the scan. So now if we hit enter, it will take a long time to run depending on the, the strength of the internet connection, the speed of your system. But we can pause. I will pause this recording and we'll come back once the result is out. All right. The scanning is ready. The result is here, as you can see on the screen. Now, if you look at the results, Nmap here for Tesla.com, this is the IP address of this server. Also, it's telling us that the host is up. That's a ping latency to that server. Very good. Then if we read through, now look, not shown here, it says 665,533 ports are filtered. What does that mean? It means there's no response from those ports, either by the rules of the firewall guiding that server, or those ports has been disabled, either on the server with IP tables, or if it is a Linux server, or with a firewall before in the network where the server is installed. Something is just there that has been set up, configured to drop any packets or close that port, or the port is not even enabled at all. It's not opened because it's not needed. So that's a very good practice, when you have a server and running an application, only open the ports, check through, only allow, the access to the ports being used by the application running on your server. Don't just leave any ports opened if it's not being used on your server. Shut it down, close those ports, filter them out, and this is what we have here. It's telling us that those ports, all these ports, they are filtered. They are filtered, no response from them. Now let's look at the open port. We have port 80, says opened for HTTP, which is good because this is a web server. It's a web server. So port 80 is opened. And then we can see what else. Port 443 is also opened, which is the HTTPS. the secured version of HTTP is also opened. Now, you can just read down, it's telling us about the SSL certificate or the HTTPS. That's the website, HTTPS, the certificates information. It's telling us here the date when it was activated, the date it will expire. That's 2024, March 21st. And what else? Basically, then, okay, so these are the trace route because we use the option, what's the option A? It's option A. And we're issuing the command. So we ask Nmap to carry out a trace route to the server all the way from my laptop to the server, wherever it's being hosted. So we can see here that only 2 ports are opened, 80 and 443. It's a web server. That's only what it is, nothing more, nothing else. If you scan some server, you will see, even though it's a web server, you will see so many unused ports opened. You will see SMTP opened. You might even see SSH opened. Those are not good practices, not good. I mean, cyber criminal can just, even with the one that is being used, if you are not carrying out what is required, if we run vulnerability scan against the server now, you won't be surprised we might find out some vulnerability even with these 2 ports that can be exploited by cyber criminal to gain access into this server. But that's not the focus of this video. Now we are not running vulnerability scanning. Today is for port scanning. We're going to do that sometimes later, and watch out for the video. Just go to our channel, subscribe, and set up your notifications so that when we drop any new video, you get the notification. So basically, this is what we have here, the scanning of this web server. As you can see, then what can you do? Should you do to guide your server? We said earlier on, if you remember here, we talked about all these ports that you might find opened on the server running on the internet. But then there's a term called principle of defense in depth. This is when you use overlapping security controls to secure an asset. But the asset might be a server that, just as this server here is an asset, definitely. On the internet, your company, your data center, wherever. And the ideal thing is for you to use different means to secure that server. Listed here are some examples of what could be used. I've mentioned IP tables before. You can run, if it's a Linux server, say you can enable the IP tables there on it and set up to allow only, if it's a web server, allow only port 80 and 443, And then if you have a firewall, definitely you should, somewhere sitting before the server, to drop and allow, deny or allow, packets based on whether it's wanted or not wanted. Then web application firewall also, that's another one. Then the IPS and IDS, intrusion prevention and intrusion detection systems, those are also ways in which you can, defend your assets. A Windows Defender, well, that's a Windows endpoint device like your laptop. Definitely that one this one by default runs on your laptop, Windows OS, and the rules are already there. If you want to know a little more about it, there's a video on our channel that talks about how you can check your Windows Defender, how you can, check the settings and all that. Just go to our channel and check it out. So I think that's all about what we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and set up your notification for more informative, educative videos, mostly on cybersecurity, networking, and Internet of Things technology. Thank you for watching once again. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you.